Hello family, Mukhai Sudumela. This is The Voice with me, Palisa. Remember, this is a show for you, by you, with you, giving you a chance to tell your story. And today in our studio, we are blessed to have one woman whom I call an overcomer. You know, there's a song, Eti Sangena la kuthiwa kuphunywa khona, saphuma la kuthiwa kungena khona, meaning Tina, we entered where they said we cannot enter. And of course, saphuma, we actually also came out where they said we cannot come out. Kuphi kanjani? When Tina kahle kahle Tina, whose are we? To welcome a businesswoman, a mighty woman of God, an overcomer in Christ, one and only Ella. Hello, my queen.
Hi, Sissy. How are you?
I'm very well, my queen.
I'm good.
Finally, I meet you.
Finally, I'm here. I'm so honored.
Do you want to tell our viewers where we met? Actually, when we started communicating?
It's on TikTok.
TikTok.
So people must not take TikTok for granted. Yes.
Exactly. Because you know, when I saw your post on TikTok, they really spoke to me. I'm like, Aibo, this woman, she's actually talking my language. She's speaking my language. And then I was like, you know, I just want to empower you. And, you know, just like you fixing my crown, and I also want to fix your crown and say, let's fix each other's crown, you know, and let us talk, let us chat, you know, because your experience in life, your journey is basically almost similar to mine. Where I was threatened, you cannot puma lapani, you cannot live and this and that, you know. But when I heard your story on TikTok, I was really inspired, you know. So I was like, hey, girl, please come to The Voice.
And I am here. Thank you so much, Sissy.
My sister, before we get to your journey, I want us to, you know, get to your background, who you are, your family background, whether you have kids, whether you have a mom, a dad, and how you grew up, and tell our viewers who you are.
Okay. My name is Nokolo Mani. I am all the way from KZN. I'm far away from home. I'm coming from a very small family. We are a family of 4 girls and 1 boy. And my mom, everyone in my mother's side, they've all passed on. Like, my mom doesn't have a sister, a brother, an uncle, or anyone. That's why I have only 1 cousin, far. I'm a mom, an aunt, and I'm a businesswoman. I am 32 years of age. This is the last year I will mention my age because it is not looking good. Yeah, I came to Joburg to study, but in a speed, I ended up having my own business. What else do you want to know?
Yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah, like that's who I am. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a mom. I'm an aunt. And what I forgot to mention is that I am the child of God and the lover of Jesus. Like that one, yes. Amen. That's actually the biggest point.
Jesus this and Jesus that.
I am Jesus this, Jesus that child, Jesus behind the scene, Jesus in front, Jesus on Sunday, Jesus on Monday.
Okay, yes. Awesome. Now I want to get to, you know, your story of how you grew up, because when I listened to your messages and your voice, you know, when you spoke about your journey on TikTok, you also spoke about when your mom got married to another family, I think. And then I want you to take us through that journey of how you were married, right? I think with your mom.
Not married.
Or how your mom
how I grew up in a wrong family.
Oh, yes, how you grew up in a wrong family. I think that's how you put it.
Yes. Okay, so my mom got me when she was very young. She was actually 15, I think, when she got pregnant. And I didn't get to find out the story, what happened, but all I know is that I didn't grow up with my mother. And to correct you, she was not married. Okay. She was dating a man that I grew up to know as my father. So apparently my mom was still at school, and then she got pregnant, and then they said they are taking umntwana. I don't know whether they said they are taking umntwana or what happened, I don't know. But all I remember was that I grew up in that family without my mom, and they raised.
So who was taking the baby? Who was taking umntwana?
the father's side. So they took me from my mom. I don't know whether it's my mom who took me there, because all I knew that my mom was not there, and what I will get is that they will say your mother abandoned you. So I don't know whether
your biological father.
So that I didn't know growing up there. So what happened was, my mom took me there. Apparently my mom fell pregnant. Bamkuba, you know, ngesinto bayaqhuba umntwana okanye babikisisa or whatever. Then yes, they accepted it ukuthi umntwana owabo makazala umntwana. Apparently my grandmother used to tell me ukuthi even bamhlawula mama. And then I grew up in that family, on which not even every year. So ngikhule ngamasiko akhona, like umntwana uyabikwa emsamo, umntwana wenzelwa whatever, umntwana wenzela whatever. What was worse was the fact that I was the oldest grandchild there. So every time when there is a child born, when they need to do amasiko, I used to be the first one. I have to be the first one. Also when this siko nalo mntwana. So if they have a child this month and they are cutting that child's face, I have to go before that child and cut my face. On which right now maybe makeup you won't see very well, but my face has scars. I'm walking with that testimony. So every time there's a child that is born, I have to be the one doing it first, because they believe that
as the firstborn.
Yes, my blood have to fall first before that child's blood, because if my blood doesn't fall first, that child's wounds won't heal properly. So I have to be there all the time.
And it's also because vela wahlawulwa.
Yes, and bakholelwa into abakholelwa kuyona leyo ukuthi isiko la khona, this is how we do it. And
just to cut you there, like what you are saying, I actually understand it as well, because also with me, that's why I'm saying our stories are similar. When my mom got married, you know, my mom had me. So kasitswana they say by money. So if your mom, if a man marries a woman who has another child, so they basically marry that woman and that child.
And the child.
And then so that's what happened to you.
No, but Mina, it was the different story. My mom was not married there. My mom was just dating the guy, Wayisisi Sukona, and on which I grew up to believe that is my father. And she made them believe I am their child. So not that banghlawulile because my mom, no. My mom was just dating the guy, and then she got pregnant and wayisumtana lapha. Yes, on which they thought ngumntana khona. So every time when they are doing all these rituals to me, they are thinking they are doing for their grandchild. And I will misbehave, and each and every time you misbehave, they will do isiko to you. So every time you do something wrong, they will cut your face. And the treatment there was not nice because my mom was not there, and they would tell me "Good mama kwaglasha" or whatsoever. It was, but I thank them anyway. They made me the kind of woman that I am today. I don't have any childhood memories. Like I didn't play. I didn't have any birthday celebration. I knew how to carry 20 liters of water at the age of 7. At the age of 7, I was already washing for myself. As long as I remember, I've been a woman. I don't remember myself being a child wearing pink clothes or whatever. Like I had to clean after the whole family at a very early age. Keeping busy. Before going to school, I used to go keeping busy. When coming back from then, you fetch the wood, start the fire. All the kids will have to bath before I bath. So I used to take care of other kids because me now I'm the older one. They will say that, but I think they were giving me that because my mom is not there. On which even today I am so grateful because I can't sit around and not do anything. Because I was taught a woman never sit down. At the age of 8, you are telling a child a woman never sits down who will marry you. And may her soul rest in peace, Shem, that grandmother. Because I wanted to ask why. Like, why were you doing all those things? And even the words that she used to say, you'll never be anything. No one will marry you. I'm only 9. I don't even know what is umjolo. Just let me grow. But hey, everything that I did after that was to prove her wrong. That I would be a somebody because of you. Then at the age of 13, at the age of 12, when my mom came, and then I had to go and visit her for holidays, and then I experienced how it is to be with my mom, my family, and I'm like, no, I want to come and stay with you because the upbringing there is not nice and everything. And my mom was like, okay, I'm going to fetch you. On which she kept the promise. She came, she fetched me, I took the remover. Now I'm happy that I'm going to stay with my mom. Then jiggy on the street, they're like, when you are so-and-so's child. You look like so-and-so. I'm like, who's that so-and-so? When you look like so-and-so. Everywhere I go, they will just mention this guy's name that I don't know. To cut the story short, I found out that I look like one of the guy who's well-known, Gasekaya, on which I met on the street by someone who was like, you need to see this child. This child looks like you.
And what was your mother saying about this when you're hearing these stories on the streets? No,
no, I was not telling my mom up until the day this guy who was a neighbor arranged a meeting, like for me to meet the guy at his house. Then after meeting the guy at his house, I'm seated there. I see this guy wearing a cap. He takes out the cap and they're looking at me. They're laughing. So I used to cut my hair.
Wow. Hey, women.
Hey, to go to see.
I know. Like,
this guy is looking at me. They are laughing. I laugh because they are laughing. They're like, even their teeth. I'm like,
even your teeth, even the voice.
even the voice, everything. I'm like, and then, then the guy
How old were you then?
I was 13. I was 13. So the guy asked to speak with me. He has a car. I get inside his car, driving a very nice car. I'm like, and then he asked my name, my surname, and he was like, he asked those details. You know, the one that they ask when you are at Home Affairs.
Who's your mom?
Who's your mom? Which year were you born? Which month were you born? And he thinks, who's your mother again? I tell, like that girl, Xhosa lady from the tall one. I'm like, yeah. Is that your mom? Auntie. Oh.
Zengen.
Yes, and she's like, and she's counting something, and she's like, what would you say if I tell you that I'm your father? I'm like,
Amen. Amen. What's in when
and I'm like, I will say you are not my father. I know my father. Like, my father is alive. I left my father where I'm coming from. You're not my father. And she's like, I'm your father, and your mother knows that I'm your father, and she has her reason why she kept you away all these years, because she knows that I'm your father. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm 13, man. I don't even know what questions to ask. She knows when you are my child. That's why she kept you away all these years. And she gave me money. And she's like, I will finish up all this thing with your mom, but you will soon find out. With no doubt, I am your father. I'm like, okay. Go home. He gave me money. And I think that time it was 50 rand. So to me, 50 rand is big, man. This guy has a nice car. This guy seems like a nice person. And my father that I grew up with, that guy didn't, I think that guy, there was something telling him that this child is not mine. Because that guy didn't like me. Like,
where you grew up.
Yes, he didn't like me. I remember I used to do very well at school. I used to be very clever. Even when everyone is saying congrats, she would ask me if I get 98, Ati, where is the 2? 95, Ati, where is the 5? Like, I was never good enough for him, but may his soul rest in peace as well. But I think he knew something in him was telling him, this child is not mine. But funny, we looked alike. I used to believe we look alike until I met the guy, and I'm like, okay, this one is a copy. Go home, I tell my grandmother that, I met this guy, and this guy gave me money, and this guy is saying he's my father. 50 rand cocoa. And my mother and my grandmother was like, hey, akaling katas. And she's like, Pumala. I'm like, what have I said? Ati, pum. I'm like, Ati, and I'm like, what is going on? So my mom came back, and I'm excited as well, telling my mother that, yes, I met this guy, and this guy is saying he's my father, and he gave me money, yo. My mom just switched, and she was like, take all your things and go. The year when I was going to be better. Take all your things. I don't ever want to see you. Just leave. I must go back where I'm coming from, where I was staying. I'm like, but I told you that. She's like, I don't care. She lost it. She lost it. She cried. She's like, Ma, angifundi nganela. By the end, tomorrow morning, this child I have. I'm like, what have I done? It's like, I don't ever want to see her here. And sadly, back then, I think my mom was I grew up from a very disadvantaged family. We mesogola kakhulu, and I think that time my mom many sandla emdenini, and my grandmother was like, if your mother doesn't want you here, there's nothing I can do. You also have to go, because if she's saying that if when ungahambi, she will never come back here.
Wow.
So go. So yeah, I went
back.
On my way they saw me crying in the car, and then they wanted the lady asked what is wrong. I told ukuthi bafuna ngiyela ngafuna ukuya khona, and then the lady said go maphoyiseni kangibuyise ekhaya, and then they were like, we don't want to see this child anyway. And then my mother came back again, and that time she wanted to kill me. She's like, I don't want to ever see this child ever here in this house. My mom was like, my grandmother was like, funa ukuphinde la part uhlala khona, you can go and stand. Jesus. Ungayohlala emgaqweni until aba calm down, find
So your mother and the grandmother
like
sending you, you can go to the wilderness.
Yes, until she calms down. She will calm down and you'll come back. Until one of my aunt was like, the child is not going anywhere. If it means I'm the one who's going to move out of here, I'm going to move out with her and I'm going to take care of her. To cut the story short, my mother came back and told me later on, I was now at school, and she told me that she was raped, and I am the result. And I remind her of the night she never thought she will ever have to remember. And worst part, I look like my father. So, yeah. So imagine the pain that she had to go through. And now my father is coming back, and my father want to claim me as the child. And
after what happened,
yes,
and after
everything. Yeah, but that's how I found out that I was a result of rape. That actually the traumas, the biggest trauma I went through. But nakula. I don't know how, but God has always been with me. Because to tell you, Sis Balisa, my mother is still alive right now, and it's no secret. I don't remember any day, nothing that I ever, I figured, even I'm a pet. I was even telling this lady at work, I'm like, how did I even do it? Nothing. I don't remember anything coming from my mom or from my father, but zange ngaswela, I don't know, God has always been with me. Mengphila ngama handout from teachers, because I used to be clever, abomakhelwane and whatsoever but azange ngaswela, man. He has always been with me. Then
that is our God.
Yes. He has always made sure ukuthi this one ngizomboza ihlazo ngeke kuze kubonakale. And
So how at that time, if I can take you back, to the time you were 13, especially after finding out ukuthi, this is what happened to your mom and umntwana ozalwe RAPE, how did it make you feel like growing up and coming out,
It was going to be better if it was just that, but it was, now I love my mom. We are in good terms. I love her so much. I love that woman. But those words they were still there, because she would say it out loud. I never wanted you. You remind me of whatsoever. And then when I get the treatment that is not the same as my other siblings, I would and I would try by all means. If I'm not getting enough, she has told me already, I never wanted you. So, but I strived to make sure that I become something that she'll be proud of. I do well at school.
Here's tissue. Oh man. Yeah.
So I tried by all means that
talking my story. It's like I'm listening to my story.
Yeah. So I tried by all means I make her proud, even when she was not coming for those moments that I wanted her to see me. Because even at school, when I'm getting awards, she won't come. I wanted her to have a moment and be proud. Okay, that happened to me, but look at her now. I tried by all means ukuthi ngibe a beautiful mistake, I would like to say, but that affected me growing up. That affected me growing up a lot. But things got worse. 2010. Yeah, things got worse. I met my father. We were in good terms. Even though we didn't get into details of what happened, I was like, it's all in the past. At least Yena, he was treating me better than my mother. I don't want to lie. He was like giving me that kind of love that I never had, even from the other father. Like, it was nice. And things took another 10 when he again raped me. 2010.
The father?
Yeah.
Your own father? The one that raped?
Yes. Yeah. Then that's where my whole world just, troubled. But again, I still say I had to go through it. I remember coming back and telling my mom, and my mom was like, now you understand what I went through. And I had to.
Was he ever arrested? Did you?
He was arrested for a few. Yeah, he was arrested for a few days, and he was out. Apparently, people were saying that someone bought me to lie about my father, trying to tarnish his name. And I'm coming.
How old were you then?
I was 16. So I was a year older than the year that he raped my mom. And yeah, that's what turned everything upside down, because I was in school and I was taking taxis, and it was something that became known in the community. And I would be in a taxi and they will talk about me while I'm there. And
here's a man you are trying to have a relationship with, that you found your father, and he was showing you all the attention. Gantiana, he's got his sinister, evil mind, looking at this young girl who is supposed to be a daughter, his daughter.
Yep. I remember him saying, "Kanti le mali yami le enginginikeza yona ucabanga ukuthi eyani. You've been eating my money." Jesus. Yeah.
So at that time you had visited him, or?
At that time I was now staying with him. And I was staying with him, and I was thinking now it was nice. I don't want to lie. Those were the good few days of my life that was short-lived. It was doing everything that I asked for. I was daddy's girl, man. Daddy, I want this. Daddy, get me. Daddy, I want this. Like, taking me to school.
How old was this B word? I don't want. How old was he? Yeah.
I don't know how old was this, but my father is old. My father is way older, even older than my mom. And he's such an amazing guy, because if I tell you about, I don't think you can understand what God did for you if you can't forgive. My dad and I, we are in good terms right now. And it's very sad that I will forever have to tell the story. But I had to forgive him without even him apologizing. Because the case, they said dockets are missing, those things that doesn't make sense. And the case just went away, and they asked me that, do you want protection order and whatsoever. I told him they understand that I forgive you, and there's nothing worse that you can even do to me that you haven't done, because you've killed me already. There is no other killing that you can do or other harm that you can ever do. But I can gladly say I'm at peace. There is no part in me that wish him bad or anything. I love him dearly. I think he's a very wise man. That man is very wise. That man is business-minded. And all these things of being business-minded, I don't take them from my mother. I take them from my father. God turned ashes into gold. And I believe I'm that ash that God turned into. I had to go through it. And no one else had to go through it. I had to be the one walking through it, so that I will know how it feels like to forgive people that are not even sorry. And that's what God does for us every day. And that's what Jesus did for us. Without even knowing, when we were sinners, he died for us without even us apologizing. So I'm at peace. And I very much believe that whatever that is in him, I pray that one day it leaves him. But we are not here to talk about that. Let's come back.
No, let's come back. But I can just actually imagine, because now that you're saying you forgave him, it takes I don't know what spirit, the Spirit of God, for you to be able to forgive someone who did that kind of, of a thing to you. Because I would say, do you wanna take me through that event, what happened, so that if he watches this, he can know what he really took out of you, and what had happened that day or that night when he was he angry? Did you do something to upset him? Were you wearing a short skirt? Because some people would say, girls who are raped, because you know how people would say, you're wearing a short skirt. That's why you are being RAPE'd,
Okay. And so I was now staying with him, and I don't know what happened between him and the wife, that the wife decided to leave. Then I remained with him and the other 2 boys that were working with him. And then I remember that morning, we were fine. I'm Daddy's girl. He does everything that I want and whatever. So on this day in the morning, I was a teenager. I asked him in the morning that, Daddy, can you please buy me a longer skirt, because at school they are complaining about my skirt being short. And my father was like, no, this skirt is not short. I'm in the bedroom. I'm going to say bye to him. I'm going to school. No, this skirt is not short. Mina, I like it. And it touched me. Like it rubbed my thighs. And to me, it was okay when it was started. But now the movement and the slow motion of it. And that time, I had a tongue ring, and I was trying to hide it from him. And he's like, I've noticed that you have a tongue ring. I've been wanting to kiss someone with a tongue ring. And I'm like, Baba, I'd say, no, don't be, ungabi namahloni. I'm just saying, I'm not saying kiss me, but I'm saying, like, don't be ashamed. I like tongue ring. I'm like, oh, okay. So when I went to school that day, in my mind, already I'm thinking, no, there's something that is not making sense here. But I'm like, it's maybe because it is me. Maybe I'm having a dirty mind or whatever. It cannot do that. Went to school. I came back, cooked. Later on, he was not feeling well. And he sent these 2 boys to go somewhere. And he gives them the car that sometimes have a problem, like if we kickstart, and he was like, ninga gijimi ngaleyo moto, like ninga gijimi because this car is a problem. I will know if ngijimile ngayo. And the boys were like, oh, okay, cool. Little did I know that he's buying time. So I finished bathing. He calls me, and he's like, come and sit with me. He was in bed. I'm like, but you are sitting here in the bed. You want me to catch your flu? I said, no, come. I sit. I see the movement, like the movement of a hand. No, man, it's that thing from the morning, and right now it is not stopping like it stopped in the morning. I say, hey, no, what is wrong? Have I done? It's no, nothing. Then he stands up. When he stands up, he's wearing a short. I could see that, he's hard. And I'm like, hey, let me go and do my homework. I was doing grade 11 that year. And he's like, no, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to do my homework. And that's when he pushed me in bedin. And he's like, don't act like you don't want it. Don't act like you don't want it. And I'm like, want what? Ati musungenzi slim. And he start. I was wearing a tracksuit start undoing it. That's when I saw that it is serious. He grabs it. Abeke isandla la. Here. And my father is very fit. He goes to the gym and he still does even today. Abeke isandla la. And it seems like he knows. Then abeke idolo like on my thigh. And then he's like, don't make this hard for yourself, because for me it won't be any hard. I'm like, what are you doing? Please stop. And Auntie, why were you, Auntie, ucabanga ukuthi le mali yami yonke le kade uyidla uyidlela okanye you were using I think my body went on shock from those words, from everything that is happening, and I decided to just let go, and he did it. And when he was done, he asked me how was it. Actually asked me how was it.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yeah. And he smiled as if oh yeah.
I don't even know if we should continue with this.
It's funny because I think I never had to tell it. This last time I had to tell it was 2010, 2011. Hey, yeah, that's how it went. And I always hear people saying that, then what happened after? Why you ngambopisanga? The same day, what happened? Because after that, took my things and I fagak bath when it was like, I must go bath. Ah, Jesus. I've been through hell and back. Yeah. And then, yeah. Funny enough, he pretended that as if nothing ever happened. There were no, like nothing. And I had to be there with him for days and days and days.
How was he looking at you afterwards? Could you face you? Could he look at you in the
eyes? He
eyes?
was facing me in the eye. That's what I'm saying. He pretended as if nothing happened. He was still the same.
Not with a dare look to say you dare speak or threatening you.
No, he was. That I think that what actually destroyed me even more, Wuti. Like, what just happened? Why is he not acting as if something happened? Why is he not scared? Maybe why is he not acting somehow? Because everything was the same, and it was me who was left with a problem. Because now I was not the same. I was no longer that happy child, because that is even how it came out. Because when my stepmom came back, she had to find me now different from how she left. Now I was forever in my bedroom. Now I was actually not talking as much as I was talking. And my father would come in the bedroom and she'd be like, why are you not sitting with us? What is wrong? Do you have headache? Like as if not, like, you know, when you don't even know when, how should you ask, have you forgotten? Or like, you know, it leaves you so confused. And at the same time, that question that she asked, don't act as if you don't want it. It left me blaming myself for years. Because I was like, maybe I'm the one who gave him wrong signs. Maybe it's that the short skirt I was wearing. Maybe when I was hugging him too tight. Maybe I cared so much. Maybe I shouldn't have been so close to him like that. I'm the one who gave him that sign, which maybe nyamfuna. But at the same time, this is my father. And they did all the checkups and everything. And it came back, and I was like, I was still blaming myself for Uti. Maybe I'm the one who sent him a sign wrong. That's why I'm regretting. Maybe he was giving me what I was asking for, maybe because he said, don't act as if you don't want it. And trust me, the victims of rape, it's not as easy as they think, because they will say, why you didn't. Most of the time, you think maybe they won't believe me. There is no one who will buy my story. Why I didn't report him same day. But the few hours that you can run to report, you are going through a shock and you are trying to figure out what happened. Then there will be another day for blaming yourself or another day for whatever. Then I have to live in the same roof with this person. Up until my stepmom asked Uti, why am I like this, what. And actually she was coming for me, fighting Uti mina. Ever since she came back, I'm giving her attitude. I am not the same person. Yini ngiyajabula mengekho emzini wakhe ngizofunela uma isikhala endodeni yakhe what. That was when I broke out and say, you don't even know what is going on. You don't even know anything about my mother or anything about me or why am I like that. And I remember even her saying that if you are saying your father raped you, why ungambophanga? Nisile nina. And that's when I called the police, and then he was arrested for a few days, but ke kwathiwa akunabufakazi and whatever disappeared that they took on the day a statement. And yeah, I had to then carry my cross after that because I was being called names in the community. And my father is a very well-respected man back home who would believe me.
And you're still staying with him in the same house?
That's when I went home. I went home and then I told my mom what happened, and my mom was like, yeah, I told you the kind of person that your father is. Glad now you understand.
So at that time, because you were young, obviously you were a young girl, did this man use protection? Or what happened? Because then you could have easily fallen pregnant.
He didn't use protection. He knew what he was doing. He pulled out or whatever. He didn't use protection. And he didn't even care. I don't even know. But all I know is that I was wet all over. And he's the one who wiped me while he was asking me.
So even when we were crying and screaming?
He's the one who wiped me and asked me how was it in that moment. So yeah, that's one thing that I had to face as a teenager, as a young girl, that I didn't get love from. I think I got love from my mother, but it was just different, and I got love from my father. It was just different. I would like to put it that way. They say umntwana akafiki nememo. Maybe they raised me the best way they thought it is possible. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I went through. And that's what I overcame without having to go to any counseling. It was just islonda nje ngihamba naso ngikhula naso. Then I had to heal because life was not stopping. Life was moving. So I had to heal ngendlela. And yeah,
you had to heal, you had to grow up, You know, when I'm saying your story is similar to my story, I found out that my dad was not my dad when I was 19 years old as well. But before my mom really confessed with her mouth, it was, I think also I was around 13 years or so when my sister at home back in my grandmother's house, when I was visiting my grandmother's house, the eldest in the house, she sent me to the shop to buy cold drink. So when I went to buy cold drink, there were these two gentlemen that were walking in the street. And as I was, you know, as a young girl rushing to buy cold drink, and then this other gentleman said to me, "Hey, Nana, come here," you know, because he was looking at me. And when I looked at him and he called me, obviously, you know, as children, we are brought up to respect the elders.
Adults.
And I went to these men who were calling me, and then she said to me, "Aswena wanawa wapem, wa wasn't Tebu, you know, are you not so-and-so's daughter?" Then I said, "Yes, I am so-and-so's daughter." And then she said to me, "Is your name Palesa?" And I said, "Yes, my name is Palesa." And then this man took out, I think it was 10 rands, and he gave it to me, and he said to me, "Okay, tell your mother that you met so-and-so," and she gave you money. And obviously, as a child, I was happy to get the money, and I took the 10 rands. But before I could leave, and then the other guy is saying to him, "Hi, but when why you know, as in like, why are you giving this child, you know, we're going to drink, what are we going to drink, you know?" And then, yes. And then this man responded to say, and at that time I turned, I said, I'm so Baba, you know, you're not my dad, but I'm like, it's, you know, I say, "Oh, Papa." And then she's like, "No, gyadlala, but just tell your mom you met Ubabu Bani and she gave you money." And then I went. And then when I went back to my elder sister, my cousin, to say, "Oh, I met this man, she gave me 10 rands. And then she said, she's my father." But the eldest in the family, because she knows, she was like, "Yeah, get Papa how?" I cried so much. So when my mom, I cried because when my mom came home, then my mom rebuked her. She says, because but I didn't understand why my mom was so angry. But at that time I was 13, and then she was like, my mom was shouting at, you know, my cousin to say, "You talk too much, when you must never say such things, blah blah." But then it was like all over. Then it was done like that up until 19 years old. 19 years old. Then I found out that, you know, the man whom I've known to be my dad, but was not my father, and it was real. And, you know, I could, most of the time, like I could hear when people would talk in the streets or family or when we were at school. You know, my sister is very light in complexion, and we would go to the same school, and the children in school would say, "But when your sister, you don't look alike. Why is your sister lighter than you?" And I didn't understand why. But there would be family members that would talk here and there, and, you know. But anyway.
Yeah. To go is to see.
It is what it is, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But like I said, even now, like, I love my dad. He's still my dad, because the one that was my biological father, he passed on in 2016. You know, but yeah, I'll probably tell that story one day.
You know. Oh man, but it is well.
Yeah, here we are.
Here we are. But that's what I had to overcome, and I look back now, and I'm like,
look at you now.
How did you overcome all that, and why did you have to go through all those things? And right now, when I look back at everything, that is how I understand with some things, it's for God's glory.
Yeah, you know, I always sometimes say that God sometimes will give us too much credit to think we can handle this.
No, yes, you wouldn't. Yeah. I couldn't. He says in his word, "I knew you before." Yeah, he said, "I knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb." So he knew that this one can take anything, that whatever life will throw at her, and she will come out as whatever she is right now. And you know, sometimes, you know, Moses, for Moses to end up in the palace, they say that time they were killing kids. So God can just create anything for you to end up where He wants you to end up, so that you will learn whatever He wants you to learn. He doesn't care. So for me to end up in that family, God didn't care. He wanted me to know what they can even do rituals on you. You can kneel there for years. I am God. I'm going to protect you. Nothing will happen to you. Because they say if you go to the family that is not your family and do ama rituals and whatever, you'll be paralyzed, something will happen to you. And God was like, no, this one, it's for my glory. Let her go there. Let them cut their face. I am God. So right now, if you say ancestors will punish you for what, I'm like, how can they punish me? They failed to punish me back then. I was not even their own child. They didn't even know me. That time I didn't even know how to pray. It was only God who was covering me. Right now, how can they punish me? Right now I know how to pray. I will ratakapala, all those things I will go.
He says, I alone know the plans I have for you.
Yes.
And plans of good and not plans of evil.
Yes.
And plans to make you prosper.
Yes.
Amen.
So I had to be there to come out and say, even if they do any form of rituals that are meant for whatever, because it's also, those rituals are ancestral worship as well. So they were doing their rituals, bang fagis panda, whatever. Again, I came out. Nothing happened to me. So everything that I went through, being the result of whatever happened between my mother and my father, God was like, this child needs to be born. For her to have genes and mindset that is like this man, for her to be a businesswoman, I need this man and this woman to meet, however they will meet, I don't care. But this child must have this guy's genes and this guy's genes. And look at me right now. Trust me, in business, I know I'm striving because of my father, because he's also a businessman. And right now, as I told you, now we are in good terms. For some advice, I run to him. I ask him, I'm going through this and this, how can you help? And if I tell you, Palisa, that man's wisdom is something else. That it's only the devil that sometimes come over people and try to manipulate whatever. My father is a wise businessman. And standing firm out of anything. He can survive anything that life throws at him. And that's how I am in business. When they thought that I won't survive, I survive anything. I try by all means. I don't know how, but I just hustle. I stand firm. So the fact that I was born in that way, right now, it doesn't move me. I thank God for that even. That glory be to God. Because my mom, if you tell her business is hard, whatever is going, my mom will be like, shut that business down and come back home. It is not going to work out. Who said you don't have your bedroom? It's not as if there is no food in this house. But my father will be like, no. Have you tried this? Try doing like this. Do like that. So how was I going to get that if my mom and my father didn't meet? Said that sometimes,
but basically then you're saying you can forgive, but you cannot forget.
I've forgiven, but I'll never, it's my story. So it's part of my testimony, part of what I've faced. The scars are there. The same way scars are on my face because I was raised in a family, but the scars are there. I cannot go back and have like only beautiful memories of me and my father. I will always remember that my father did this. As much as I would like my kids right now, my son likes my father. And I don't know how one day will happen. It thinks that Mkulu is my hero. Mkulu is my hero. Mkulu is a bit, like he doesn't know. Like one day, I don't know what will happen to my son when he finds out that Mkulu is not what you think. I don't know what will happen. But it is my story that I have to tell if they ask, what did you face? What did you go through? But again, it was God's glory happening every step of the way. God proving himself that is God. God proving himself that I can heal you from anything. God proving himself that I will be with you. I will never leave nor forsaken you. God proving himself that I am only your father who won't harm you.
So, but what do you think he will do or say if he sees this video now with this interview?
Who?
Your father.
My father won't do anything. My father knows that I know. And I remember telling them in court that I can't argue because it's only me and you who knows. He knows that I know. And he knows that he didn't say sorry. And he knows that he has never explained. And he knows that right now we are fine. But between me and him, only me and him knows the story. But do I want him to be crucified for whatever? No, I want people to learn from those things. I want young girls to learn. And I want young men also to learn from these things. It's not because I'm putting it out there because I want to harm him, I want to tarnish his name. He knows very well I love him so much. But at the same time, the scars are still there.
So now let's talk about your business, because you're a businesswoman. What do you do, and how is business, and how's being a businesswoman, an entrepreneur? Because well, I'm excited. I can't even wait to come to your salon.
Oh, please. My business, Elam Haone. So I was still a sangoma back then.
Oh yeah, I wanted us to get to that actually, But let's talk about business before sikhuluma ngokuthi ungene kanjani, waphuma kanjani.
Okay, my business, Elam How Beauty Bar. First of all, let's start here. Ella is not my name. My name is not Xolo. Yes. Ella is my business. So I was studying beauty in one of the international school in Edenville. After being seeing ghosts, seeing things back in KZN, my sister who is here in Joburg was like,
seeing ghosts?
Yes, like
that is
yes. That's when my colleagues started to...
now you've got a story to tell.
No, that's when my calling started. Back home in KZN.
How did you see ghosts? I hear people saying it is money bogo, but...
No, but you see, like seeing people that died.
Seeing dead people, basically.
Yeah, in bogo.
Absolutely.
Yes, you will dream of them, you will see them, you have visions. Oh, Konja, when you be sang message.
I almost went in there. Ichama sengithi ngibiza uJesu. Ngibona isangoma singishaya suka ngabale ngathi ha kanti niyashayana la ngathi nje kusalwa. I never went in, basically. I was never initiated.
You never initiated.
Yeah.
Okay. So
but not to aboni bogo, like was it?
I was saying my ancestors, people that I don't know of, Makehla, they will come, and sometimes, because it started with dreams and then now it happened as if Mina, I'm seeing everything. So it started like that. So I wanted to run, not that I wanted to run away. Because if I start talking about my business before talking about how did I even move to Joburg, it will be like...
Yeah, maybe let's start there, before we get to... But the business part, I'm really interested.
I would definitely... Okay.
Business.
So I'm in Durban. Growing up, everything, I faced everything. When my grandmother was still there, but they told me how I was born. When I was born, my mom delivered me at home, and I had things around my body.
Zalumbet.
Not umbat. Mine was even different. You see, an umbilical cord. I had something resembling umbilical cord across. You see what sangomas wear? Those skins. I had them, but it was like umbilical cords around my body, and I think they said on my hands. That I know because my mom told me and my grandmother told me. Even that, my mom can still attest to that. So growing up, I used to be very clever. Like my clever was not a normal clever. Like it was of I know things before being taught. And then I can be absent in school, but I will pass as if I was there every day. I was very clever. So when I reached matric, during my trials, I started being sick. I had this headache, and it was going on for weeks and weeks and weeks. Then I ended up going as Belela, passed out. When I woke up, I'm in drips. They withdrew water from my spine, blood, and it came out. Oguchimina, I have something called meningitis of a spine and brain. Then chigi meningitis. Now it has TB. I have TB of a spine. Now I can't walk. Then from that, they told me Uguti, I'll be paralyzed. While I was still taking that, my brain deleted everything. Like I couldn't even remember, like how did I get there? Where am I? Or what is happening? Then they said my brain was traveling to in a speed that is not normal, so it crashed. I need to enough rest to reset. I don't know, but I slept for days. When I woke up, I was not the clever child that I used to be. Like it was like a resetting and bell. I'm no longer the same. So I finished. When I got out, because I was writing my trials in Pumes then, kwathiwa mele ngibuye for ama check-up. When I had to come back for my check-up, they told me, okay, mengibuya, I'm coming to take a wheelchair, my wheelchair, because by the time I come back for check-ups, definitely I will be paralyzed because already I was struggling to walk. My, that thing, the thingy under the foot. It was taking time for me.
Some senses,
yes,
basically your senses were dead.
Yes. So they were like, Melubuya on this date for your wheelchair, for your medication, what. So I went home. About Africans, they will want to find out what is happening. Why is it happening? Gumtana, Ugametric and everything. So it came out, my ancestors now are saying, Mina, I want to run away when I finish school. So they want to make sure that Mina, I don't run away because Bona, they made sure I was born a Sangoma so that I don't run away. So actually, I don't have to go initiate because Mina, when I was in my mother's womb for 9 months, I was being initiated. I'm like, well, that's my plan. Growing up, Sis Palisa, is Zangoma. We know Zangoma, not now, like it seems like it's in fashion, it's nice.
I love my fashion, fashionista Zangoma.
Yes. So growing up, yes. No, growing up, we used to think, is Zangoma, like me, a whole Zangoma, like, I'm not going to come for that. So I was like, very. So one day we go to this other lady's house, where kuyohlolwa ukuthi umsebenzi uzohamba kanjani because when nizokwenza umsebenzi you have to go and consult to find out ukuthi how will the ceremony go. So I was there and this lady is like, this child is blocking me. I can't see anything. And she said, who is this child? And then my mom was like, oh, this is my daughter. It's like, whatever it is overpowering me. And my mom was like, yeah, Veruza. Now they get into how I was born. She's like, no, your ancestors are saying they are not going to tell me anything. They are going to tell this child instead. So I'm like, and then go home. That day I remember I just blacked out and they said, I indeed told them how the ceremony will go, whatever they need to do, and whatever. There was the first scandal, but it was only that day. Then my life was normal, back to being normal again. Then I started finished school. I didn't like school. I don't want to lie.
As intelligent as you were.
Yes, I don't want to lie. If I was not intelligent, I was not going to finish school. Came to Joburg to study. I didn't finish varsity. I dropped out. I went back home. And then I got a job. But now, isn't just M17, whereby now people are saying things that I didn't say. Like my work is affected. I was doing finance, but when you I was working for this one engineering company and I was doing their finances. Once you mess up the invoice or you add zero where it's not supposed to be, they will think you are trying to do fraud. So now I was being called for ama warning and whatever. It was not nice. People are saying things that I didn't say. I'm getting warnings every now and then. Then dreams started coming. Then I started dreaming. Okay, before growing up, I would dream and things will come to pass. But now these dreams were different because it was dreams of accidents. I would dream of something and I would pass that accident. And I would cry because I couldn't stop the accident. Like, how can I dream about it and not stop it? And now the voices started coming. That it will come and say, you would have stopped it if you allow us to work.
Like you could clearly hear the voice, or was it in dreams?
No, clearly not. Now it was like, Sifunuk Sebenta. You would have saved this if when uyavuma ukuthi sisebenze. Ungayi kohlola. Don't go consult, because that is when you're going to be opening up that kind of
you open up doors.
Yes, you won't be able to close. Went to this guy Ugyohlola. All I remember was him asking me my name, my surname, and then 1 minute he's saying angvume something, and I said ngiyavuma. After saying siyavuma,
once you say siyavuma, now they just need you to speak.
Yes, confess with your mouth, which you are allowing them in. Yes, and then ngavuma ke.